So I want to bring in Candace Kelly. She is a journalist and legal analyst. She's known Sean Combs for a very long time, covered him for many, many years, and she was in the courtroom for the cross-examination.
Yeah, I think one of the things that became apparent is that, first of all, she obviously didn't want anybody to know her name. She's using a pseudonym. And we know that when she came into court, she was really covering herself with her hair and her jacket. She definitely didn't want to be known. So I think the question becomes, were the effects, because I did hear some effects on her voice, were they because she didn't want anybody to know her? Or was it because she was actually lying about her disposition and who she actually was? And I think that it could be argued either way. The bottom line is that he definitely went to town to her on cross, making the point that, what you're saying is not really true. It's not feeling like it's true. He tried to make many arguments to the judge about a video that he wanted to get in. And there was a lot of contention. And I think that he made his point that he thought that something was off. But, I'm not sure exactly how the jury was feeling about it. I did get a sense by looking at a few jurors that they might have some questions, but, leaving that to deliberations.
Brian Steele, famously represented Young Thug down in Atlanta. We're not seeing it, Candace. You were in the courtroom. We unfortunately can't see it, but you saw it. So how aggressive was Brian Steele at going at Mia?
At first, it was a very gingerly approach, but then very, very aggressive. He was saying things like, so really, you're celebrating the anniversary of your rape, that type of thing, because the one of the assaults happened on Sean Combs' birthday, which celebrated every year. There she is celebrating. So he phrased it as if, every year you were happy on his birthday. We can see that you were happy. In fact, you were celebrating the assault. So it was just a very strange line of questioning that I'm not sure set too well with jurors. It certainly didn't sit well with a lot of people in the gallery, but he was relentless. He was not going to let it stop, that he believed that, hey, you're faking it. You're faking it. In fact, here you are in a celebratory way online. But I think another thing to take away from that is that, like you said, what is social media? Who is going to post something negative about their boss? Who is going to post these days something negative about their life in general, right? That's why some people call it Insta scam. It's not real. It's just whatever you want your life to be in that moment. So a lot of different ways that you could go there, but he was very aggressive. I had a good view of the jury today. There were a couple of times where two jurors in particular did give a scowl, like, all right, I'm taking this in, but I'm not sure what I believe yet. To me, it was clear on their face. The other ones, they were more poker faced, but there certainly were a couple that you could see it on their face that they were trying to process this. Is she lying or not? What are we looking at? Are we looking at a representation of herself, or is this who she really is? I did not get a sense that there were 12 jurors that, were all in on this. And I said to myself, I think what's going to be a part of what goes on in deliberations is that someone, especially a younger person, is going to have to explain to some of the older people on the jury how social media really works and how it's represented. And that sometimes when you post a picture, it's just not who you are. That's what I thought about immediately. They're losing some folks, but they're going to be talking about that for sure in deliberations.